I am on my CB650F, and I recently sold my CRF250L. Now these types of roads, this is what I love on this bike. In a moment, in a few minutes, I'll tell you why I miss my CRF. This bike is just such a joy to ride on roads like this. You know, just relax on a nice scenic twisty road. And if you want, kick it up a bit. Whatever you like, the bike will do. It's a good performer, eh? And that's what I like about it. But my CRF, it was good at an entirely different thing. I mean, it could be fun on roads like this. Don't get me wrong. But it could take me places that this bike cannot. Finally getting some cool temperatures, climbing in altitude here. It has been so frickin' hot the last couple weeks almost. Yesterday it was 37 degrees in the shade, of course. And we are coming up to the area where I can say, here's why I miss the CRF 250L. Getting up roads like this and then going off these roads onto the double track trails and narrow trails. That's what I loved about that bike, and that's what I can't do on this. However, I suppose we could venture up a road like this a ways. Thing is, I wouldn't want to get into some heavy washboard and stuff on this bike because, you know, it's only got, I don't know what the suspension travel is, but probably 4 inches. And I'm on Dunlop Q3 plus tires, so hopefully there's no wet sections. Shouldn't be. We certainly haven't had any rain. But this is what I miss, you know. I'm not a fan of Forest Service roads, though, I gotta say. That's why. It's kind of why I sold the 250 is because I really like the trails off the Forest Service roads. Washboard. Yeah, the trails off the Forest Service roads were what I liked. And I couldn't take a lot of them anymore. Holy shit, these washboards are frickin' awful. I don't want to take him at speed on this bike. I'd probably rattle some things apart. But that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you got to have the bike that's suited for the purpose, and this isn't suited for this. This is what I miss, you know, not being able to get up into these areas. I don't regret selling the 250 because, like I say, I couldn't, my knees couldn't take the rougher trails on a regular basis anymore, so to have the bike just sitting around, you know, for the once in a while ride didn't make a whole lot of sense as a second bike. But now that it's gone, I recontemplating all that, thinking, well, maybe I should get something else. I mentioned in a previous video, you know, swapping this bike for something that was more capable of both pavement and trails. But a lot of the options are that would be really good on the road are not that capable on rough trails. You know, they're okay on Forest Service roads, but not too good on rough trails. And it's the trails that I really like because it gets me into the more remote regions. On a previous video talking about that kind of subject, I was suggesting that maybe I should look at a supermoto, you know, that would be excellent on rural twisty roads like I was on just a moment ago, and would certainly do fine on this with the right set of tires, you know, some Shinko 705s or something like that, because it has that long suspension. So I just had to come up here today and venture just a little bit on some dirt on this bike. I knew I couldn't go far, but had to satisfy the urge. So any of those bikes, you know, the dual sports, like my CRF250L, they're just so beautiful in that regard, you know. They can get you anywhere you want to go. You might wonder why I sold it and got this. Actually, I got this before I sold that. But like as if I could have, if I only was going to keep one bike, maybe I could have kept that. And because I could, you know, obviously ride that on the pavement. But on the pavement, though I made that do for quite a while, it just doesn't have the power that you would really like. I'll continue to suss this out and see which direction I want to go in. I would like the option, though, to get up on the dirt. So I'll make that happen in one way or another. And I do really enjoy this bike too. So I'm not that keen on getting rid of this. Yeah, I really like the way it performs. And it's a very comfortable bike to ride. And very capable. Very smooth. Right across the power range. So, yeah, what's not to like about that? But we'll definitely have to get the other type of riding sorted. Got to get that going. You know, let's say that's a goal to shoot for next season. Maybe I'll run across a good deal on a supermoto like the 400 SM, the DRZ. I once crashed my CRF 250 on this corner. Came in a little bit too hot and then made a classic mistake. Instead of just applying a little trail braking and slowing down and then reducing my radius, I brilliantly tried to lean over more while accelerating, and that's a no-no. You had lean or throttle, but not both at the same time. Rear end slid right out and down I went. Didn't help that I was on 90-10 dirt road tires. Well, that is where I'm at right now, folks. It's where my mind is, and I will get that sorted out. One way or t'other, I'll get the ability to ride on dirt again. And like I say, I really don't want to give up this bike. Not if I can help it. So what about you boys and girls? Have you ever parted with a bike that you could ride on dirt, and then once on pavement, just riding the pavement, you regretted not being able to get back on the dirt? Because like I said before, the bike you ride determines where and how you ride. So let me know in the comments what your experience has been, and what kind of bikes you ride. What do you prefer? Do you have more than one bike to suit more than one riding purpose? Or do you just have a single bike and you make a compromise? Anyway, ride safe, have fun, have a blast, and I will see you on another ride.